Well, being it's my first trip to California and seeing this magnificent view of everything, it's just amazing, and seeing the vineyards and it's just overwhelming.
And speaking to my wife on the phone, out of the blue, she suddenly said, well, listen to you, you know, I've never heard you this excited about anything at all in your professional life at all. And that's probably the truth.
It's such an eye-opening experience once you get here to see that there's so much more to learn.
Hi, welcome to Napa Valley. The Olive Garden Wine Institute of Napa Valley was created as a sister program to our Culinary Institute of Tuscany. Here in Napa, our managers have the opportunity to understand wine as part of a lifestyle, to see how wine and food go great together as part of any Italian dining table, and to ultimately see how natural, approachable, and easy wine can be for our servers as well as our guests. Take a look at what the Wine Institute has to offer.
Of the grapes and grapevines, tannin is a building block. It provides structure. You know, if you look at the back of your tongue, the roof of your mouth, and the inside of your cheeks, is really where the structure fills out the wine. Let's go ahead and taste the first one. The Coastal Sauvignon Blanc in the top right glass. First smell it, and then go ahead and taste it. That has about half the amount of tannin you just tasted added into it. White wines literally only have about 200 to 500 parts per million. No, it's a stylistic preference, and it's a winemaking decision, but it really starts with the fruit. How much tannin can you have in the wine to not have it dominate the fruit? And that's where the artistry of the winemaker really comes into play.
The exercise that really stuck with me this morning was that when we were trying to pick out aromas of the wines and things, smelling a pear and then smelling the wine and the pear really coming out in that, and then going to something like a jalapeno that I never would have guessed would have been in a wine.
There was apples and raisins and olives and cassis and things like that.
Pieces of banana and pieces of berry and pieces of pepper sitting in the glass where you could really get a distinctive scent.
That is something we can easily take back to our restaurants and will immediately can impact, especially for our restaurants that have servers that are underage.
People have all the tools for enjoying wine. When you give them the essence tasting and they smell a rose petal and smell chocolate and cinnamon, they know what it is. We have the tools. Through the Wine Institute, you're teaching the teacher so that your servers, as they gain their own comfort and confidence through the experience in the Wine Institute, it will not be a job anymore. It will be a vocation that's an avocation, and they'll have fun. As a result, your customers are going to have more fun and come back more often to be with their extended family.
I have a whole different look at it, at how the grapes are grown and how they're cared for. And I don't mean just like how they're processed, but I mean actually cared for, to see that they still pick it by hand and then everything goes through a delicate process.
The fact that they're putting so many millions of dollars into going back to the old way of doing it, modernizing it at the same time, being gentle with the wine, letting gravity do things, little or no pumping, they're not going to do anything to damage the wine. The care that they've put into it is really impressive.
So it's all flowed by gravity down here to spend an entire year in these barrels to gain some of those flavors and also to help integrate the tannin into the wine and reduce it and create softer tannins. Well, I think it's only appropriate to taste exactly what we've been talking is our Cabernet Sauvignon Reserve, which is our most expensive wine in distribution. It's $125 a bottle. Whoa. But I think you guys are worth it, and I think you guys have shown me the passion that you will embrace this and take this back. So I'd like to make a toast to you guys, and thank you very much for coming. The day's not over. It's just getting started, and one nice way to start it with a little Cabernet Reserve. Cheers. Cheers. Cheers.
Basically, Pinot Grigio is a totally different grape than Chardonnay. Pinot Grigio is by its very nature a more delicately fruited grape. Interestingly enough, it falls right in between in sort of body and in fruit. It falls somewhere in between the Santa Margarita and this Chardonnay, which means that for the guy who's used to drinking Chardonnay, this isn't all that far off, which is a huge plus. The consumers in this country are ready for wines that are really geared for the food that they're being served with. And that's the Italians, as I say, that's a 2-century deal. Yeah. Anyway, thanks for coming up to Love from me. It's great to have you.
So you have two different Pinot Noirs. You have the same grape that have been grown in two different locations. Just to do a little bit of a comparison tasting. One of these has been grown down on the Central Coast, predominantly down the Santa Maria Valley. And then the Napa Pinot Noir has been grown right here in these vineyards. This is what's called a bladder press. We use this for white wines. And what happens is, and you guys can come and take a look, there is a bladder inside of there that will inflate, and you can control the pressure and will actually press all the juice out of the grapes so you have no skin contact. So this is where all the Chardonnay from this vineyard will come right here and immediately gets pressed to capture a lot of that acidity and that brightness. What you get from Oakville. If you look over at those vines over there, which is where this wine came from, that's Z-Block. Those are 26 years old now, planted in 1975. So you're not necessarily getting more elegance, you're getting a lot more intensity, less amount of fruit.
Well, I think we should raise a glass to Paul and Dale for all the information they have.
Thank you, guys.